published 5:26 Eastern Daylight Saving Time, the 12th of May 2018, updated 10:38 Eastern Daylight Saving Time, the 12th of May 2018. 14 years ago, Arsene Wenger was guiding Arsenal to an historic unbeaten season that will live forever in the memory of football fans worldwide. Fast forward to the present day and Wenger is one match away from stepping down as Arsenal boss after a disastrous campaign which has seen his side miss out on Champions League football yet again and fail to register a single away point in 2018. Wenger may have overstayed his welcome, but his legacy remains intact. 3 Premier League titles and a record-breaking 7 FA Cups later, following his arrival from Nagoya Grampus 8 in 1996, he is rightly regarded as the best manager in Arsenal's history. Graham Stack witnessed history firsthand as Arsenal went unbeaten in the 2003-04 season. Stack was number 2 to Jens Lehmann for most of the season as Arsenal remained undefeated. Premier League campaign: wins 26, losses 0, draws 12 in what has been a stellar Arsenal career. It is his title-winning season in 2003-04 that will remain Wenger's greatest moment in football, leading his side to an unbeaten campaign which may never be repeated in England again. He assembled a squad of leaders, many of whom have become Arsenal and Premier League greats. But one man who very much went under the radar during this unprecedented season was Graham Stack. Remember him? After an injury to Arsenal number 2 Stuart Taylor at the start of the season, Stack, who was just 22, was called up to take his place in Wenger's formidable squad and was fortunate enough to witness history firsthand. And Stack, who won the FA Youth Cup with Arsenal in 2000 alongside the likes of Steve Sidwell, Jermaine Pennant and Jay Bothroyd, is eternally grateful for Wenger's guidance during his career, revealing that the Frenchman showed an interest in him and his fellow youth players from an early stage. Stack, who was recommended to the club by legend Bob Wilson, told Sportsmail, "I remember when I was due to come back as a scholar. I went over there as a 16-year-old lad training with the first team when they were short of numbers, and I played out on pitch in a small-sided game. That was one of my earliest memories. I remember being there with Dennis Bergkamp and people like that, and I was the goalkeeper. Some of the others were with a youth team and I think they must have thought, blimey, what's Stacky doing over there? He's playing up front." There was no hesitation in letting the goalkeepers play outfield, which again was something that no one had probably ever done. Arsene Wenger's biggest achievement was leading Arsenal to the historic unbeaten season starting lineup: Lehmann, Lauren, Campbell, Toure, Cole, Parla, Edu 67, Vieira, Silva, Perez, Henry, Bergkamp, Reyes 80, subs not used: Keown, Clichy, Stack. At the time, it was like, if you can't play in goal, you can't play anywhere. But Wenger was more than happy to see goalkeepers playing outfield and expressing themselves and improving the technical attributes. Wenger always had a big interest in the youth team. He always came to watch our games at London Coney with Pat Rice and Borough Primorak. Once the first team had finished training, he would be first over to watch our games and take a keen interest in the young players that are progressing. When I used to play, he would literally stand behind the goal to watch. That was added pressure as a player, but again, the fact that he put himself out to come and watch games was a show of intent. He just showed huge interest, really. While legends Thierry Henry, Patrick Vieira, Sol Campbell, Robert Perez and co were going on to earn iconic status in North London, Stack was left very much in the background, quietly enjoying the most memorable time of his unique career. Stack, who kept Taylor out of the squad for the remainder of the season, never experienced a minute of Premier League football, with Jens Lehmann remaining an ever-present in goal. However, he realizes just how fortunate he was to be part of such a great Arsenal team, full of top internationals and World Cup winners, which famously won the league at the home of the rivals Tottenham on April 25, 2004. Stack, now playing National League football with Eastleigh, put Arsenal's success down to the team's must-win attitude alongside their obvious footballing attributes. Stack, top left, was on the bench as Arsenal won the top flight at White Hart Lane in 2004. Stack labelled the formidable 2003-04 Arsenal side as a team of men, a team of leaders. The quality was frightening and training was always competitive. It had that edge to it, but that's why we had such a successful team. It was a team of men, a team of leaders, and there was a lot of experience in there, a lot of know-how. Hampstead-born Stack recalled, there were players in there that played in World Cups and won World Cups, captained the countries and played in the very best teams in the world, so there was always going to be a difference of opinion as well. But I think that's what made that team so great, the fact that it wasn't just a team of average individual players that were content and happy to be in the top four. They weren't like that. They wanted to win absolutely everything, in every game they played in. And that would be the case in training, that would be the case in a game of cards, whether we played Uno or whatever, it would be on the bus. That was the mentality, and none of them in the group wanted to lose. Stack was on the bench during the 2-2 draw at White Hart Lane and was quick to soak up the title-winning celebrations on the pitch with his teammates, as well as at Highbury as Arsenal signed off as Invincibles against Leicester on the last day of the season. Stack made his debut in a League Cup match against Rotherham as Arsenal won on penalties. Arsenal progressed to the fourth round with Stack scoring in the penalty shootout 9-8. It was a special day from start to finish. I remember the PFA Awards were that evening and a number of players from that squad had been in the Team of the Year and we knew we were going to that after. It was nice to have got the result in the game, obviously become champions, and remain unbeaten as well, but even then the job wasn't done because there were players who couldn't quite relax, couldn't quite go out and enjoy what they achieved because they still wanted more, which just summed up the group. They weren't content with being champions and winning at White Hart Lane. They had a few games to go and they wanted to finish the job off and remain unbeaten. I remember going to the PFA Awards that evening and we got a standing ovation when we walked in because we had so many players involved, and I think that was a bit special even though I hadn't played on the day. Just to be part of it and walk in with such a great group was a nice feeling. I will always remember that being a special day. The elation for the Arsenal players and fans was clear to see, with the Invincibles celebrating on the pitch hours after the final whistle with the travelling support prior to their evening antics. However, Stack, who didn't meet the 10-game criteria to receive a winner's medal, remained reserved when questioned about Arsenal's celebrations at the rivals' ground, as he wants to respect the squad. There are obviously some brilliant stories that we are not going to discuss because it should be kept between the players. There are loads of stories and loads of things that have gone on over the years at the club and that season specifically, which no one really speaks about, and that's probably why it was such a special group. Stack played against Arsenal for Reading at Highbury on November 29, 2005. You may be forgiven for thinking Stack would be the quiet one in that experienced squad, but his confident personality allowed him to flourish. And, in fact, he was sometimes had to look out for some of the more senior players, especially Martin Keown, with whom he shared a room on away trips. Stack said of Keown in the Magic Sponge podcast, "He is a diamond of a man. He always wanted reassurance. It was just crazy because he was an England international. He was a bit insecure, but he was brilliant." He was asking me, how did I train today? I trained well today, didn't I? And I'd be like, Martin, I've just come out of the youth team, don't ask me. Stack's only action during the unprecedented season was in the League Cup, where he immediately endeared himself to the fans against Rotherham, scoring in the penalty shootout for Arsenal as they won 9-8 at Highbury following a 1-1 draw after extra time. It was incredible. I had all my family and friends there, and I think I had about 70-odd people at the game. To make your debut at Highbury and score a penalty was always going to be very memorable. I had a really good game up until the point as well, so it was a fantastic day that I will never forget. He played in all 5 of Arsenal's League Cup matches that season, losing at the semi-final stage against Middlesbrough. Despite his lack of game time in the English top flight with Arsenal, the shot-stopper, now 36, looks back on the remarkable feat with even more fondness than he did at the time. You only have to look at today's climate of football and realize what an achievement it was at the time. I don't think anyone quite believed what an incredible achievement it was. Now when you look at the Manchester City team, previous squads that have not quite gone as far like the Chelsea side, people now realise just how incredible it was, and I don't think it will be done in this country ever again, but who knows. 36-year-old Stack is currently playing football for National League side Eastleigh. Looking back on it, I realised what a great set of players we had there. Players have since gone on to win a number of trophies, represent their country, captain their country, win international honours and win so many different things. It is not until you take yourself back in time and think, blimey, I used to sit with him, or I used to train with him. I think looking at it now I appreciate it far more than I did at the time. While his former teammates established prominent careers for themselves in England and at Europe's biggest clubs, Stack has enjoyed a modest time within football since leaving Arsenal. He signed permanently for Reading from Arsenal at the beginning of 2006 following a brief loan stint at the club, but failed to establish himself at the Madejski Stadium. What was to follow were various loan spells, either side of a permanent move to Plymouth Argyle. However, he ended up making the most of his career appearances for Barnet after a 3-season stint at Hibs. He then moved to India with Kerala Blasters prior to joining Eastleigh in 2017. Stack still remains a very popular figure in North London and was recently invited as a special guest to the Emirates by Arsenal, speaking on the pitch at half-time during the Carabao Cup victory over Chelsea in January. While he may not have enjoyed the career he wanted to at Arsenal, he still takes huge pride in representing Wenger's Giants, and memories of the famous Invincible season will never wane. The 16th of August 2003, Arsenal 2-1 Everton, Highbury. The 24th of August 2003, Middlesbrough 0-4 Arsenal, Riverside Stadium. The 27th of August 2003, Arsenal 2-0 Aston Villa, Highbury. The 31st of August 2003, Manchester City 1-2 Arsenal, Etihad Stadium. The 13th of September 2003, Arsenal 1-1 Portsmouth, Highbury. The 21st of September 2003, Manchester United 0-0 Arsenal, Old Trafford. The 26th of September 2003, Arsenal 3-2 Newcastle, Highbury. The 4th of October 2003, Liverpool 1-2 Arsenal, Anfield. The 18th of October 2003, Arsenal 2-1 Chelsea, Highbury. The 26th of October 2003, Charlton 1-1 Arsenal, The Valley. The 1st of November 2003, Leeds United 1-4 Arsenal, Elland Road. The 8th of November 2003, Arsenal 2-1 Tottenham, Highbury. The 22nd of November 2003, Birmingham 0-3 Arsenal, St Andrews. The 30th of November 2003, Arsenal 0-0 Fulham, Highbury. The 6th of December 2003, Leicester 1-1 Arsenal, Walkers Stadium. The 14th of December 2003, Arsenal 1-0 Blackburn, Highbury. The 20th of December 2003, Bolton 1-1 Arsenal, Reebok Stadium. 26th 6 December 2003, Arsenal 3-0 Wolves, Highbury. The 29th of December 2003, Southampton 0-1 Arsenal, St Mary's. The 7th of January 2004, Everton 1-1 Arsenal, Goodison Park. The 10th of January 2004, Arsenal 4-1 Middlesbrough, Highbury. The 18th of January 2004, Aston Villa 0-2 Arsenal, Villa Park. The 1st of February 2004, Arsenal 2-1 Manchester City, Highbury. The 7th of February 2004, Wolves 1-3 Arsenal, Molineux. The 10th of February 2004, Arsenal 2-0 Southampton, Highbury. The 21st of February 2004, Chelsea 1-2 Arsenal, Stamford Bridge. The 28th of February 2004, Arsenal 2-1 Charlton, Highbury. The 13th of March 2004, Blackburn 0-2 Arsenal, Ewood Park. The 20th of March 2004, Arsenal 2-1 Bolton, Highbury. The 28th of March 2004, Arsenal 1-1 Manchester United, Highbury. The 9th of April 2004, Arsenal 4-2 Liverpool, Highbury. The 11th of April 2004, Newcastle 0-0 Arsenal, St James Park. The 16th of April 2004, Arsenal 5-0 Leeds United, Highbury. The 25th of April 2004, Tottenham 2-2 Arsenal, White Hart Lane. The 1st of May 2004, Arsenal 0-0 Birmingham, Highbury. The 4th of May 2004, Portsmouth 1-1 Arsenal, Fratton Park. The 9th of May 2004, Fulham 0-1 Arsenal, Loftus Road. The 15th of May 2004, Arsenal 2-1 Leicester, Highbury.